Kirsten Hagland, host of the Sonder podcast on FaithWire, partnering with Faithbox for this devotional series. We've been talking about contentment for the last several days, trying to really hammer it down because it's not an easy subject to tackle. That's why it takes so many days to talk about it. But we're on day 9 actually, and we'll start with a scripture verse from the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 15. Then he said to them, "Watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions." First of all is a warning, watch out. Watch referring to your eyeballs. Keep an eye out. And I think the first takeaway from this really is to be aware. I mean, we can go through life. I know I have a super chatty brain. My internal dialogue throughout the day is my brain is always going. I'm always thinking about things from the moment I wake up until the time I go to bed at night. And while that can be good and that can help me be productive in my work or my personal life, what it does is keep me very distracted from what I am encountering, what images that I'm taking in, subconscious influences from other people or the world around me that I might not be thinking of and I might not be aware of. So the first, I think, and most important thing in this passage is to watch, to be careful, to be aware of places where you might be tempted into greed, areas where you might be tempted to, despair about things or, very unhappy or cynical or depressed about something. Be aware. Take your internal temperature throughout the day. Maybe stop that inner voice for a second and really watch and see where your heart is being given to other idols. And then, of course, he says, be on guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions. And Jesus has talked about throughout the Gospels about how we should not be anxious about what we should wear, what we should, our lives, our bread and our water, our daily bread. But here he's specifically talking about possessions. And we can talk all day long about how, you want better clothes or you want better furniture or a bigger house or a better car or whatever. But I think that the most, impactful way to think about this is how we consume social media. Because rather than our eyeballs necessarily being on the people around us, right now our eyes are on our phones and they're on our Instagram feeds, they're on our Facebook feeds, Twitter, etc. And we're always constantly comparing ourselves to other people. And even though you might feel like you're getting a high from seeing what everyone else is doing, there's also that constant comparison, and you look at people and you see what they have and you see the lighting in their photo and how good they look or whatever. Everyone has a different struggle with social media. Take a look, see what you're looking at and how does it affect you? And when you sign off of Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, do you feel worse than you did before you got on? Seriously ask yourself that question. And rather than going on, people talk about fad diets and stuff, consider going on a media diet. If you're gonna restrict something, don't restrict calories, maybe restrict how much media you consume. I know that I like to do this over the weekends. I usually shut down a lot of my social media on the weekends, or at least I don't look at it, because it can be incredibly draining. And it brings out that spirit of discontentment within my heart. So in reading this passage from Luke, be on guard, be aware, watch out for areas where your heart might be tempted to not be content. And then number 2, specifically about social media, be aware of that, how that affects your heart and your lack of contentment. And maybe pull the plug. Might be good for you. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.